So I think the best analogy I can make is my father was a poor enlisted man. He was Native American. Yes, he got a few special privileges. Like he got to hang out with the top guys, but only because they were using him. When Dad violated the morality thing in the Navy, and let me be clear, the Navy, to violate their morality clauses doesn't just mean you have to marry somebody if you got somebody impregnated. You can't cheat on your wife either. So when John F. Kennedy was having sex with all those women as a naval officer, it was just okay. Not only was he having sex with them, now a lot of them were rich dilettantes who donated. They were part of the upper class. Marilyn Monroe wasn't. That's why she was so traumatized about it. That's why she sought him out so hard. She wanted acceptance because she came from poverty. He exploited it, fucked her, so did Bobby, and then when she was heartbroken and got high. They knew she was an addict. They knew they were part of the drug smuggling during the Vietnam War that brought the drugs in. They knew they were friends with all those Hollywood people exploiting her. And they jumped in and wrote her. And then when she got drunk and did the thing of "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," and showed the whole world that John F. Kennedy was also violating the morality clause, not to mention letting all the shit go on in the South, they set that up. So that's why Dad recorded it, because Dad knew, shit, you're having me kill a starlet. The whole world's going to go nuts over this. Come on. Oh, we got you. Dad already knew they weren't going to have his back. That's why the Marilyn Monroe murder was never solved. Because Dad had a dead man switch. And I'm part of it. And guess what? Then you cocksuckers started coming after me. And I got a dead man switch. You notice how quickly Meredith got in touch with me? Come on. You ain't bullshitting nobody, Kennedy. You played a lot of people, and I think those people are going to be pissed. And I think they're going to be more than happy to help Bernie get real justice and help Becca Balint and Mulvaney Stanek and everybody else get justice. And Governor Hochul, I don't think Governor Hochul knew exactly what was going on. I pandered to her too. I baited her. I knew I had to lie in that, make it look like I was help solving the Kennedy assassination because I don't have secure comms. You all made sure. So those of you here in Burlington got nobody to blame but yourself. You never set up secure comms. Sending your buddies to talk to me walking down the street or on the bus, that's not secure. The Goldwaters and Weinbergers and ultimately JFK Jr.'s more obvious partners of crime have high-powered microphones. They can hear us talking from a mile away and watch us. So I couldn't tell your people everything. And by the way, Bobby sent his own people here that weren't affiliated with you all at all to test my loyalty. To start talking about the Kennedys when I was wearing the Kennedy hat. I said, okay, you want to play, motherfucker? Let's play. So I got the Kennedy hat and put it on and see what happened. Sure enough, he sent his own little moles to get on the bus and start testing me to see what I knew about what really happened, to see if I was a true blue Kennedy loyalist and bought all of their bullshit. And I let them think I did. You use people and throw it out. Maybe you don't beat people down right on security cam like Diddy, or even as bad as Epstein. You're more covert. You're more sophisticated. The Klan's whole motto is to be silent and invisible, not loud and proud. So all these people that are screwing with all these doctors that are falsifying the records, blaming my murder on him, saying that I'm just killing myself to survive my narcissistic, abusive parents, blah, 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 and look like I'm committing, and that they're ultimately responsible for my murder. That's you too, Bobby. You're profiting from that. You're not, you and your administration at CDC or HHS ain't gonna do shit about it. So me and my family been playing you motherfuckers for decades. You just got played. And they just came in and sent me a text to say, yep, we got you. You're right. They were waiting on my cue. They know if I'm going hard on them, we're not quite there yet. We're not quite ready yet. See, Dad is still under the control of the Department of Defense, him and his brother David. They cannot violate a direct order. Yes, he could have said, I don't want nothing to do with this when the Kennedys wanted to go kill Marilyn Monroe. Yes, he was somewhat sympathetic. Think about the times back then. Clint Eastwood made a movie, a Western, one of the spaghetti Westerns. He raped a woman right in the livery. And that was celebrated. It was perfectly okay. It was played off as a joke in the movie. Then I think it was High Plains Drifter. And then later on, he's taking a bath and she opens the door and tries to kill him. It was a joke. That's how women were treated back then. We're not really treated much differently as we're seeing through the Diddy trial. There's hardcore domestic abuse, and then there's softcore. But Bobby Jr., the way he's running this New York investigation and pandering to the King family, he's not doing anything any differently than his uncle and predecessors, because he's ultimately profiting via his using those medical records to get lawsuit settlements. He needs those doctors to run the unbundling and upcoding fraud to maximize the rewards that maximizes his contingency fee. He's already conflicted because he profits off how bad the crime is. So, of course, he's going to let the crime go on and on and on to beef up his bottom line. Whoever made it legal for him to do that in New York, you need to be looking at that legislation that allows that. Because I remember talking to a name named Lauren something or another. She was the constituent services person under Chris Koster, Attorney General Chris Koster. And I said, I work for civil rights. She says, why aren't they doing anything? She says, if you work for lawyers, why aren't they doing anything? I said, because in the state of Florida, a civil attorney cannot go into a civil courtroom and make a criminal complaint in exchange for any settlement. I said, only a prosecutor can do that. If they did that, they would lose their license. I said, they have to conduct an investigation, but ultimately their license means that they have to tell me to go to police. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to you. And she says, you're right. That's probably exactly what would happen here in Missouri, too. If a civil attorney. So basically what she's saying is in Missouri, civil attorneys don't get to handle criminal investigations and then go into a courtroom and make a criminal allegation in exchange for a settlement. So the shit Tony Busby's doing and New York Hochul's independent investigation, that law letting people do that, that's extortion. That's probably why Diddy knows he's getting off. Because civil attorneys never should have had anything to do with it because they profit from it. There's a conflict. And SD&Y should fucking know that. So when I say, if you really want Diddy in jail, you better start from scratch and start all over and get ready to start charging the Agnafilos and charge the damn